Welcome to Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. I've been wanting to make a video like this for some time. Well, since I've gone through what I've gone through. I grew up with maids, butlers, chauffeurs, gardeners, guardsmen. I grew up with servants. I grew up with friends who sort of treated me. Well, they weren't really friends. I was the American. Uh, and I wouldn't. I'm not saying that I wasn't their friend or they didn't. They weren't fond of me. I was the American. I'm making this video to tell you that the rich people have zero idea of what the poor or even the middle class go through. Why why am I saying this? Because I had no idea what the poor and middle class go through until such time as I've gone through this experience, this experiment that I'm rebelling, and I've been rebelling. I did not like the people that I grew up with. I understood that they were fake, but I didn't understand the other side of it, or what comes with being less financially secure, right? Uh, and even so, the wisdom that I have about finance and so forth is very easy for me to fall into. So I went through financial hardship, or I'm going through financial hardship, but there's a little bit of light at the tunnel, and I reconnected with all the, well, not all of them. I reconnected with most of the companies that I had used their services before, and literally I've just fallen right into place. I'm here to tell you, there is a completely different category, and I don't care how corporate people are, and I don't care how much people say or believe that corporations are these disembodied people and they sit over there. On their books, they have categorized every one of their customers. And there are the poor customers, there are the bad investment customers, and then there's the elite customers. There may be a category that I'm in. I might not be in the elite, but I'm certainly not in the poor or the bad investment. The bad investment customers are the ones who are late, and those are actually the bread and butter of the corporations. Those are the bread and butter of the credit card companies. Those are the bread and butters of the banks. They're always late. They always pay a fee, and they always pay the minimum, so that they're never. So they literally fund the entire accounts for everybody else. They're the ones that you want in your corporation clientele, because you're gonna charge fees upon fees upon fees that first of all will never get them out of being able to get away from these fees, and they will then fund your corporation because the fees don't come from any service that they provide. So it's free money, free extra money. For a service, you have you have to pay somebody to sit at the desk or go out and do something. These late fees and stuff like that, nothing happens. It's just literally an entry into the accounting book. Which brings me to the war on poverty. What was it? Bush? Was it Reagan? Who declared the war on poverty? The war on poverty is nothing that the news tells you. The actual war on poverty is the war on poor people. It's a war against people who don't have enough money to, which is crazy, right? So you can't go anywhere, I believe, in the United States. We'd have to look at property taxes and see if there's any states. I believe there was a chart about states who did not charge property taxes, or cities who didn't charge property taxes. And then those cities or states started giving in because the other states were saying, you're just missing out on free money. We're charging taxes on people's property that they purchased, and we don't have anything to do with it. But we're declaring that there's a tax on your property. Why? Just because we can. I mean, you know, the libertarians are often say humans are the only ones who have to pay to live, pay to be alive. I'm a little bit sick, and I did have my blood pressure was really high because my new roommate is driving me crazy. The stress that he puts me through. I'm not one to deal with stress. I'm not. Probably my pampered life really didn't acclimate me to the stresses, even the most minor stresses of life. I'm glad I'm not a woman. The stress of monthly visits and or childbearing would probably just do me in. I am thankful for that, and there's a little bit of respect that goes with that. Actually, there's a lot of respect that goes with that when it's done responsibly. I'm talking about childbearing. It's a miracle. And I told some woman that, and she said, "What miracle?" I'm like, if you don't believe it's a miracle, there's something wrong with you. Anyway, the war on poverty. It should be called the war on poor people. Everybody has their handout. Everybody has a fee. Everybody has oh, your credit isn't so good, so we're going to charge you more to make absolutely sure that you stay in this rut. And I had a company tell me this just straight to my face. Why? Because people tell me stuff because I have one of those honest faces, you know, and confidential type of personalities. We can tell you this. You're not gonna pass this on to anybody. Yes, there's a war on poor people, and I get stuff for free. And let me repeat that. I get stuff for free simply because of the way I do business with the company. I'm not saying that I'm special. I'm saying that there is a particular way you do business with a company where you are in a completely different category, different status, and mostly it's for people who conduct business with a company in a credible manner. What do I mean by credible? I mean that they have good credit with that company, and this is something that you either build a relationship or you enter through referrals from other companies. As, oh, this guy's pretty good. This guy right here, he pays on time every time. So people, like I said, there is probably my status, and then there's elite status. But literally, my what was it? There were who was it? The phone company? Yeah, I believe it was the phone company. I said, the guy told me that my phone would be cut off immediately because I was late, and the lady said, "Oh no, 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 he didn't know what he was talking about. You're in a completely different category. We won't turn you off for like 30, 60, 90 days probably." And in fact, it was like 90 days before anything happened. Uh, but there was nothing I could do about. I'm very when I get when my money gets down, I start to shut down. So I start to shut down paying out money. And when I say stop paying out money, I literally mean everything, including food. So if I become late on anything, I I'll try at my very best to avoid fees, but I'll also cut it to the very wire before I pay it to make absolutely sure that I have to pay it or that. And then even then, when I was trying to overpay some stuff to make it sure I avoided fees, then other stuff went bad. So that just reified everything that I thought about paying money to certain people or overpaying. So that made me even more miserly. Uh, Miserly in the good sense of counting your pennies, right? You always want to count your pennies. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on because I know people have very short attention spans these days. But there is a war on poor people. And here's my definition of poor. If you have to worry about any bill, you are the working poor. It's not until you become financially free at that level that you are not poor, in my definition. Now, I said we're poor to one of my former roommates, and he says we're not poor. We're just temporarily broke. He said at any point in time we could get a job or whatever, and because it's two of us and our expenses are so low, we will be sitting pretty immediately. Now, make sure that you're in that sort of situation. That means that if you have to take on boarders, get roommates, and I know it's hard to find adequate people who are good roommates because they'll do stuff like the bare minimum of cleanup or the bare minimum of this and that. They'll leave stuff sitting out, or food sitting out, and collect roaches and stuff. It's just hard to find because it's not theirs, so they don't care about it. It's not theirs, they don't care about it. So then, when you get a roommate or a boarder, you need to ask them, if you're making a sandwich, do you, before you even take a bite out of the sandwich, make sure you clean up all of the food items and put them away back in the refrigerator and stuff? And if they say, and then you gauge their response, you're a good determiner of people. You have to gauge your response. I'm telling you, landlording is not the fantastic thing that you see on TV. Oh yeah, TV makes it look marvelous, and I'm sure a lot of you have had roommates, and then you still go back and watch TV, and you go, "Oh my gosh, so wonderful people are out there, unicorns are out there," and no, it's not true, because the whole idea of you paying, of the person paying to live with you, is that they're paying to intrude on your privacy. So they can't be moving in their girl. I had roommates who moved in their girlfriend, and it says, "Well, there's two of us, and we stand around outside." I I have to still be inconvenienced by her entire being. She uses lights. She uses water. She uses a bathroom when I have to go to it. The inconvenience. She still has to pay for the inconvenience of imposing herself on me. So no, you don't get to uh, not pay for her. Oh, and they tried that. Many roommates tried that one. All right. Anyway, war on poverty, war on poor people. We gotta, maybe I want you to be in a position like I was, where my credit score was 800 plus. in my all of my dealings with companies where I got free stuff simply because the way of doing business. Make sure you have a good reputation with companies. Sometimes you don't have to have a fantastic credit score. A lot of times you can do business with company, and simply because you are very honorable in your dealings with the company, you can move into that elite status and not have elite credit score or elite money. You simply do really small stuff, but you pay on time all the time. All right, and look for that free stuff because it's out there. Thank you for watching.